Welcome, everyone, to the Med Spa Accelerator Podcast, brought to you by CAS Clinical Consulting and Everable Marketing, the go-to resource to learn the latest hacks and the best practices for marketing and growing a profitable medical aesthetics practice. Welcome, everyone, to the next episode of the Med Spa Accelerator. I'm here with our co-host, Billy.
Hey.
And we got a cool episode for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 different ways to increase your revenue.
Yes, this is a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of med spas, I mean, of course, you want to make sure your business keeps growing and you want to keep bringing in revenue. But sometimes you're just stuck. Like, okay, how can I make sure that this keeps growing in the right way?
Yeah, and you get stuck and you don't really know, like, I guess a lot of people ask themselves, like, what can I really do to push the bottom line, right?
Right.
And believe it or not, it's actually kind of interesting and to be honest, even a little simple, I would say.
Yeah.
But there's only really 4 ways that you guys can. I mean, honestly, any business can actually increase their revenue. And so we're gonna dive right in and just kind of go through them.
Yeah, for sure. There are like little things you can do to move each one of these 4 basic rules or ideas to grow your revenue. Mm-hmm. But so what's the first one?
The first one is to increase the number of customers. Mm-hmm. And so this is I think this is the one that everybody always tries to go to when they're looking at maybe their yearly plan. They're trying to figure out, how can I, just scale the business, really?
And I feel like that this is the one that everybody kind of thinks of when they're like, well, I need to increase my revenue to grow my business. The thing that I need is more customers, more leads. Yeah,
more leads, right? And so obviously there's a few different things that you can do. I mean, that's what we really specialize in here at Everable. I mean, what we do is implement, marketing and advertising campaigns to help our clients increase the number of customers, the number of patients that are coming in through the door on a monthly basis. So, I mean, obviously you want to be doing things like advertising, marketing, right? All of those things are there to kind of get your business out there, build awareness, and then get people to come in. Now, ways that you can influence people to come in, and like if you look at any business, a lot of the times, like, you can adopt some of these same strategies. Like one of the things that I always kind of noticed was like when if you're ever at a mall, and then you kind of see, like, are you always passing by the mall and you see like the windows and stuff, and they always have like these promotions, and that's really at the end of the day how a lot of business is done. Or like if you look at some of these other, like gyms, for example, when they send out these mailers, it's like, if it's your first time visiting us, then you can get a special XYZ or so on and so forth. So I always say it is always best practice to have like a first time visitor offer, right? Maybe, if it's your first time here, you're going to get, instead of paying X dollars for this treatment, you're only going to pay at 50%. Like a lot of hair salons, like even a lot of like the franchises and stuff like that, that's what they do. Like, if you're first time, or you can even offer something as a bonus. So instead of discounting, if you don't want to discount because that is not how you want to be portrayed to your market, that's fine if that's what your positioning is. But instead, something that you can do, you can add something of value into that package, right? So for example, this where like I would go
for first time visitors, you get like once you buy like cool sculpting, you also get a free cryo or something to add on to that package.
And then so like I was gonna give an example of a hair salon that I used to go to like back when I was in college. Like you would and then instead if you would get like the basic package, right, of just getting like a men's haircut, but if it was your first time, they would include like the deluxe package, which was the haircut, a hot towel, a neck massage, washing your hair, and then so that was just to kind of give you that whole like VIP treatment and experience. And guess what? I was like, this is pretty awesome. Next time I come, I want to get that. I want to pay for that, And so it was a really good way to get me excited about wanting to, next time I went there, to pay a little bit extra and actually have that same experience.
Yeah.
So that's a really good thing that you can do. Yeah. In addition to that, you can make your service a gift of love.
Oh, I like this one. Just kind of having also gift cards available for people to purchase and give to somebody else.
Oh,
this is a great way to bring in new customers, because you already have your customer that loves your business and loves going to get their facials or whatever that might look like, and they just want to pass on the love, right? So especially targeting men to buy for women, I think it's really good, especially like
especially
holidays.
For the holidays,
yeah, like Valentine's, Christmas, those are really good, or even birthdays. But having those available and kind of like continually talking about them and posting about them on your social media, or even when somebody comes in, letting them know that is available as well. It's a great way to bring in new customers.
For sure. And then another one, and another simple one that we briefly talked about in one of the previous episodes was, having a referral strategy or word of mouth strategy. Sorry, is going to be a really important one, because a lot of times we'll ask people, well, what is your strategy to get your current clients to refer people? A lot of people don't have one, and so you want to try to influence and control that as much as possible. And so simple things like just having a referral program, like every time somebody refers somebody over, they get $50, and then the first time visitor not only gets the first time discount or the first time bundle package promo that you have, but they also get an additional $50 off. And you can make these very simple, where it's like, you can get $50 off, but they have to spend $100, or you can get $25 off, but you have to spend $50. Right. Those are very common and very simple, guys. But at least now you're influencing them to refer their friends and family, so they can come in and get a special deal. You
incentivize people. And I mean, if you want to do a little bit more complicated, I guess, but it can also be good in the long term, is like some sort of like points or reward system. So
and I think that'll be a good one for one of these other points. So I'll briefly go into that.
Okay.
So I mean, those are just some obviously there's more, but just 3 quick and easy things strategies that you can implement to increase the number of customers that in your business. So that's one way to increase revenue. Number 2 is going to be to increase the average transaction size. So what are some of the ways that we can do that?
Well, honestly, I feel like the most common one is just upselling. So you have your customer coming in for their consultation, they might be ready to buy, and you are giving them a few packages to choose from, or you are just giving them the price, but you can always upsell them to get the bigger package. And that way it'll just increase your transaction size. I had another word for it, but I kind of forgot it mid-sentence.
That's fine. And so, I mean, there's a few basic things here, guys. Like, I mean, obviously upselling and cross-selling. So like Billy was saying, you can have 3 packages when you present price, and obviously we talked about this in our last episode, where you can have 3 different packages, and then each one at 3 different price points, right? But then you can try to influence them to get the bigger package by bundling some additional services or offering some additional discounts.
Adding more value to it.
Adding more value to that. But then what the other unique opportunity that you have, in regards to upselling, then when they do that treatment, make sure that you get them back. You schedule a follow-up appointment with them to get them back, so you can upsell them. That's what upsell is. Like, you get them to buy more of the same thing, right? Or
even something that might go well with the service they came for.
So that was going to be my next thing, which is cross-selling. That's what cross-selling is, right? So you want to sell them something that is going to be complementary to what they're already doing. Now, a simple strategy, and you might already be doing this, kudos if you are, when somebody comes in for their consultation, you want to have a cosmetic interest form, right? And I've seen some where it's just like, well, do you want Botox? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't structure the interest form like that. I would make it more of like a
problem solution.
Problem solution. So it's like, maybe you can ask questions like, how do you feel about your face? Have you noticed that you've, since the last few years, you've gotten like a few more wrinkles or, things like that. And then, do you currently have sunspots?
Yeah. Or even just like checkboxes of like, what are you worried about, or what are some of your like
from a
skin
scale
concerns?
to 1 through 10, like,
Right.
you know, like different things like that. So that opens up the opportunity for you to have that conversation with them. Once you do the consultation, it is a great way to have a conversation starter, you know what I mean? And so maybe they don't get it treated right then and there because their focus is on, let's say, getting rid of stubborn fat. But next time you have your follow-up appointment, you can have that conversation with them, and you basically map out this, you know, cosmetic or aesthetic journey for them, you know, so that they can not only, you know, get rid of their stubborn fat, but then once you kind of help them start looking good in regards to their, you know, their body, then you can kind of start, okay, well, let's talk about your face now. You know, what are some of the things that we can help you with?
They themselves might end up like kind of starting that conversation as well. But you kind of guiding them into that direction.
You open up the door, you know, you open up the opportunity for them to be able to discuss those things with you. So that's a really simple one, and that's going to give you the opportunity to cross-sell. Now, when we were talking about the upselling, you know, when we offered the 3 different packages, you in that big package, you can offer some additional complementary services. And again, that's just another way to cross-sell and present them to the other services that your practice offers. So super simple strategy like that.
Add a little taste of something else that they might be interested in. And if you already have this cosmetic form, you can even personalize that package for them.
For sure. And so, and then another quick, you know, tip and hack is there, like if you're using an automation system like Patient Gym, for example, you know, like then you want to have these sequences in place to get people to come back in, you know, like, and so for example, if somebody purchases a treatment, then you want to then enter them into an automation sequence where 30 days later, they're going to get a text or an email reminding them, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. You know, just, you know, we have this promotion going on. Just want to let you know in case you want to come in and take advantage of it. I mean, something along those lines, right? Hey, we just got this new machine, or hey, schedule a visit. We can get you a free consult if you're interested. I don't know, but just a little reminder to get them back through the door, right? And actually, that's kind of like our third point.
Yeah, great segue.
Yeah. So number one was increasing the number of customers. Number two was increasing the average transaction size. And number three is actually increasing the frequency of transactions per customer. And so this is the, what we talked about before is the increasing the lifetime customer value.
Yeah. Exactly. So these are might be a little bit kind of like intersect a little bit together, because you can kind of start upselling them, and if they don't go for the bigger package, you can end up kind of like bringing in more to their attention from your services and can increase that lifetime value of your customer.
Yeah. So something you want to be super aware of here is just like, your retention. Like, what does your retention percentage look like, and this is something that you can work on calculating on a yearly basis, right? So like out of all the people that came in, how many of them actually still come back in, and
how many times?
Yeah, how many times per year, right? And if you're, whatever kind of, I guess, like transaction software that you're using will kind of give you the ability to figure this out at all times. Like you can see how many, on average, how many transactions did your current one patient do. And so that's going to be like a really cool way for you to kind of identify, that every time you bring in a new patient, they're going to come in on average of 5 times a year to get something done with you guys, and they're going to spend an average of $5,000-$10,000 with you guys on a yearly basis if you can retain them, right? So you want to really influence that retention, and that's what I was saying before, that you can implement these sequences to get them to come back and remind them to buy.
Right. And the more you do this, the more you're going to see a sequence as well that could later on help you create packages, because you already know what somebody might end up buying in the long term. So you can just start creating those packages to help people or incentivize people to end up coming back to you.
Yeah. And so a big one as part of this that I'm always like, I'm all about this, is memberships, building out memberships. I think memberships are like the holy grail of any business. If you can build a med spa based off memberships, then that is amazing. Golden. Yeah, because you want to, you want to have that cushion there. You want to know that on a monthly basis, you're going to have a set amount of revenue that's going to come into your business consistently, right? And you don't always have to be worrying about always trying to get new people through the door. And so that's going to relieve a lot of stress. It's going to make you feel a lot more at ease.
Yeah, especially in the more like low months of
like
the
summer
year.
Months,
summer months, you still have that cushion, and that's money still coming in.
Yeah, and think about it like this. Like, think about how amazing it would be in your business if your overhead, like your basic monthly overhead, was always covered by your membership, right? So memberships are pretty awesome. If you don't have a membership program right now, then you should definitely look into it. And really, I mean, for if you don't have one and you don't really know where to start, honestly, it's just as simple as looking at the competition, looking at other businesses that maybe are not a med spa but are IV therapy, that are massage envy, and I mean, look at how they modeled them, and obviously you don't need to copy them 100%, but you can look at how their model is structured, and you can try to adopt that model to some of the more attractive services in your business. Simple as that, guys. It just takes some time to concept these things and then put them to the test. Stuff is always going to change, but don't be afraid to just put something like a rough draft together, start selling that and get some proof of concept going, right? And then if it works, awesome, then keep doing it. If it doesn't, refactor, make it better, and then test it again, right? And so
definitely, memberships have a lot to do. There's a whole system that might have to go into it, because it's not only the way you structure things, but also bringing in your staff along and kind of really training them to be selling these memberships, which can be a whole other episode for us.
It's a whole other thing.
But definitely bringing in memberships, and especially it will depend on your business, your services, the way you want to kind of come up with it, right?
For sure.
But I feel like a great thing right now, like in medical aesthetics, is like the whole vision of wanting to stay young and looking younger.
For sure.
So, and that may need some maintenance, every so often you might need a facial. So
that's a really great way to position it, where you can really, kind of encourage people and educate them on why they need a facial on a monthly basis. Why do they need to actually take care of their skin on a consistent basis, and then if you can educate them on that, then they're going to be willing to,
and bringing in that value.
Bringing that value, you're going to be able to get them in on the membership program. So that'll be good.
And even giving, of course, your members maybe a discount, so more benefits to it.
For sure.
It's always a great way.
There's a lot of ways you can structure that. That's going to make it really, really good. So that was number 3.
Yes. And our fourth one.
Our fourth one is, can you ready for this? It's super simple.
Raising your prices.
All right. Awesome.
There you go.
So, obviously it's super simple, right? Basic math. If you want to keep the same customers that you have, but you want to make more money, then just increase the price. I mean, you're going to have some people that are going to push back, and they might be a little bit, not happy with it. But, and sometimes you don't even have to increase it for your current, past customers. You can just, on your new patients, obviously increase the price right then and there.
Or doing it subtly.
Yeah, or do it subtly. You don't have to increase all of them at the same time. But honestly, a lot of businesses, just to stay in business, it is very common that as a business, you're looking at increasing your prices by a small percentage every single year.
Right.
Maybe just because of inflation and just how the market is and all that stuff. So it's very common for businesses to raise their prices just to stay in business. So it's just a part of doing business. So
sometimes a lot of these technologies have set prices on them that you have to keep on in regulation. But a simple way also to raise your prices without making people feel like what's going on here is just also upping your overall customer experience.
Oh, yeah.
So the cost of it is not just because you are in another place doing microneedling, but it's the way you do microneedling.
Yes.
And the way that you present yourself as experts, and the whole experience that goes along with it. So that VIP experience can definitely be part of your price tag.
Yeah, for sure. Because and we talked about this in our last episode, but think about why companies like Starbucks can charge 100% more for a cup of coffee than your typical, your Dunkin' Donuts, corner. McDonald's.
Yeah.
And it goes back down to the brand. It goes back down to the service design. And, really how they are actually positioning their brand, and every little single thing is designed so that you have a really great experience. So if you can craft that somehow by having a really great user, customer, patient experience, once somebody walks in through the door, then people are going to be willing to spend a little bit more because they get that. They get that satisfaction. They get that feeling. And this really what it is. It's just that feeling when they come in and walk in through the door, and that feeling is priceless a lot of the time.
And it just makes them feel like, oh yes, this was definitely worth the money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we're actually going to have another episode of little things here and there that you can do to up that experience, make your customers feel like VIP members.
That's going to be good.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. That was a short one and a sweet one. But just to recap, right? Number one, you want to increase the number of customers. Number two, increase the average transaction size. Mm-hmm. Number three, increase the frequency of transactions per customer. And number four, raise your prices.
Yes.
All right. So hopefully you found that useful. And so the last thing, guys, is that we still have our 1 year anniversary Patient Gem giveaway. So we're giving 3 people a 3-month Patient Gem license. So if you want to use this, and what we just talked about is today, creating these automations so you can get more people back into your business and purchase some more, then go ahead, and what you have to do is just leave us a review. Yes. And then number 2, go to the link that we have on this podcast and fill out the survey and then leave your information. That's how we're going to be able to get in contact with you if you are one of the winners. Again, we're going to select 3 people to win a 3-month Patient Gem license.
Yes, so we'll help you set it up.
Yeah, we'll help you set it up. We'll get it going so that we can really kind of focus in on helping you make some money in your business.
Yes.
So hopefully you guys like that. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Yes.
And we'll catch you all next week.
If you are watching this...
sorry.
If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give us a like and subscribe. And
leave us a comment.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you all next week.
Bye.